Hi all and welcome to a new video. It's on the Friday here today, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start something a little bit new on the channel. Obviously I picked the 2 days to preview from the Dublin Racing Festival a couple of weeks ago, and now I'm going to publish or put out a video on the Friday giving my best few bets for the Saturday's racing. Obviously Saturday is usually the premier day's racing, especially over in England, and this Saturday there's some good racing at Gowran Park as well. So what I'm going to do is give you my best bets, and you can use them or not use them whatever way you feel fit. I'm going to rate these bets on a point system. This is what usually happens. You give out these kind of advised points, but my points, I'm going to break it down pretty quickly. A 1 point win is a €10 bet, 2 points is 25, 3 points is a €50 bet, and 4 points is a €100 bet, and therefore like a half point each way is a €5 each way bet, that sort of stuff. In this way, even though you can use that whatever way you want, it just allows me, I suppose, maybe keep tabs, and I can then maybe make more of a profit and loss kind of scenario where I can properly see whether I'm actually making profit off these advised tips. Anyway, there's great racing tomorrow, as I said, at Gowran Park over here in Ireland, and in Ascot and Haydock over in England. And I've got 5 bets, or 5 tips even, 3 from Ascot, 1 from Haydock, 1 from Gowran. So we'll start off at Ascot with the 115, a 5-runner novice hurdle over 2 mile 4 furlongs. It seems, I'm here on Friday morning just after declaration, so starting prices haven't quite gone up for this race. But it seems it will be a duel for favouritism between Captain Cattystock and Count Maribel from the Paul Nicholls and Nigel Twiston-Davis yard, respectively. But I'm not going to go for that, and I do think this horse is going to come in for some support on the day. But my tip here will be Dame de Compagnie for Nicky Henderson and JP McManus. He won very impressively on his hurdling debut in England at Uttoxeter, won on the snaff by around 2 lengths, and went to Cheltenham in November for their November meeting and was 10 to 11 favourite in a 5-runner novice hurdle and came last. Something clearly not quite right that day. But also, you look at the form, and that run was won by Slate House, Somerville Boy in second, who's gone on to win the Tolworth, Better Get Along in third. He's not a bad horse. It's not bad form, actually, even though it was a poor enough run. And I think they expected a lot more from this horse. And therefore, I do think Dame de Compagnie could bounce back here. I'm not sure what the starting price will be. If I've edited the video by the time the prices come up, I'll put it down there. But I'd be advising a 1 point win, Dame de Compagnie in the 115 at Ascot. Which leads us on to the second race, which is the Reynolds Down Novice Chase, the 150 at Ascot, a 3 mile Grade 2 Novice Chase. Favourite here, Black Courtin at 10 to 11, Miss Parfois 5 to 2, Mount Muse 3 to 1. And I'd be siding, probably a bit controversially, but with Mount Muse. The horse now trained by Ruth Jefferson. Obviously, unfortunately, her dad Malcolm passed away 2 weeks ago. I think it's actually his funeral today on recording here at this. But I quite liked Mount Muse. He's a good novice hurdler, second in a Grade 1 novice hurdle at Aintree, and his 2 chase starts have been decent, both at Doncaster. He won a 3-runner event on debut, won it very nicely from Sam Red, a Dan Skelton horse, and second time out just got denied. But he didn't jump well that day, and actually the fact that he was only within a half length at the end shows you he's not a bad horse. I do think he stays the 3 miles. I think if he tidied up his jumping, he might have a bit more scope for improvement. We kind of know what Black Courtin is. Black Courtin's a very good horse. But is there more improvement? I'm not so sure at this stage. He's won 6 or 7 races. Perhaps that's it. I do think there'll be a stage with Black Courtin where it surely has to taper off a bit, and I'd be willingly taking on Miss Parfois. I don't really rate the 2 listed races she's won the last 2 times. One was a mare's race. You never know with those ones when you're back up against the boys, and then beating Juliet Dawn of Alex Hales. Not a bad performance, but I wouldn't rate it that well, actually. So it would be a 1 point win for Mount Muse in the 150 at Ascot at around 3 to 1. And Then we move on. We might as well complete the Ascot Chase. I think it's at 3:35. I'm not so sure about that though. Grade 1 over 2 miles 5 furlongs, and I think it's going to be a big, big day for Ruth Jefferson and Brian Hughes. Ruth has finally got on. Well, not finally, but got on the board as a trainer yesterday with Cyrus Darius up at Kelso. It was a great win. And I just think she's got Mount Muse and Waiting Patiently running here at Ascot, the two best horses in the yard, surely. Like Cloudy Dream's a good horse, Cyrus Darius is a good horse, but these are the two best horses. And Waiting Patiently is going to run in the Ascot Chase here. And it is time to shine. It will be the make or break for Waiting Patiently. It will either tell us, bloody hell, he's a good horse, you know, he could actually win the Ryanair, or actually the fact that they've been kind of putting him in smaller enough races is probably wise because he's not quite at that level. But he's won those races with such ease that I just can't help but back him here at 9-4. The big danger, of course, is Top Notch. Top Notch is a great horse, and I'm a big fan of Top Notch. But Waiting Patiently, he's just put such good rivals to bed. You know, even look at last year's novice. He put Politolog to bed at Haydock. And Politolog has turned into one of the better 2-mile chasers this year in open company. So I do think Waiting Patiently is a very good horse, and I think if he jumps round safe, and he'll probably be held up under Brian Hughes, and hopefully comes with a winning late thrust to deny Top Notch and perhaps Coney Island. And then the two others, one from Gorn, one from Haydock. My one from Gorn, it's a 1 point win. Sorry, I'm Waiting Patiently at 9-4, just for the Ascot one. Completely forgot. But then we go to Gorn Park, 2 o'clock, Red Mills Chase, over 2 miles, 4 furlongs. No Duvan, wasn't really surprising. Never thought he was going to run, actually. I've never got interested in that little bit of hype midweek. But I did think Arduke was always going to run, and he is. And he's running against Presenting Percy. Arduke has to win this race. They honestly, I thought his run in Leopardstown was actually quite good. Made a bit of a blunder, well, not a bit of a blunder, made a terrible error at 2 out. Knocked him out completely, but he even then still rallied. The only issue here is it's 2.5 miles, which will be short for Arduke. He's a stayer, really. But perhaps the really heavy ground will combat this, and I understand why they want to give him another run before the Gold Cup. But this will decide. I think if he wins this, they'll go for the Gold Cup. If he doesn't and gets beaten kind of quite well, they'll probably keep him for the Irish National. Presenting Percy is the big danger. Judging Presenting Percy is something I don't like doing, because just when you think he's, you know, maybe not quite good, he then performs really good. He won the Galmoy Hurdle last time out. Favourite for the RSA Chase over Monolith, who's a cracking horse, and I love Monolith. So they obviously think very highly of him. But I do think Arduke has the edge, and therefore I'm advising a 2-point win on Arduke in the 2 o'clock Red Mills Chase at Gorn Park. And finally at Haydock, because I suppose those tips are a little bit for the shorter prices. So the one at Haydock, the Grand National Trial, favourite is Blackline at 2-1. Justified favourite, really. He's favourite for the Grand National, and he should really run a good race. Wild West Wind's in there at 4-1, I think. Three Faces West is in there at 6 or 7s. But what I'd be going for here is Mystery for Michael Scudamore. I think Robbie Dunn will ride at around 10-1 each way. This will be a half point each way at Mystery at 10-1. Rule out his Welsh National run, never really got going. You based on last year's form, he's got a good chance, and you know he'll be staying on at the end if he's still within the race. So I think to get in the top 3, I think he's got a very good chance of doing so. So to conclude, I've gone for a 1-point win on Dame de Compagnie in the 115 at Ascot. 1-point win Mount Muse to win the 150 at Ascot. 1-point win Waiting Patiently to win, I think, the 335, the Ascot Chase. 2 points win on Arduke in the Red Mills at Gorn Park, and then a half point each way on Mystery in the Grand National Trial at Haydock. Hope this was really helpful. I hope you guys like the idea, and if you do so, leave a comment or like or subscribe, any of those sort of things, just to make it seem that you're interested, and hopefully we can get off to a good start on these kind of tips. The Dublin Race Festival didn't go too badly, and hopefully this one will give you some winners. Have luck punting. See you next time.